Hey guys and Docaholics, welcome back to another exciting episode of Doc Lil Talks Comics, and today's source material is going to be Initial Assessment. And what are we talking about? We're going to talk about Minotaur issue number 1 from Ignition Press. This is written by Spurrier with art by Mike Dowling, colors by Sophie Dodson, and letters by Hassan Otsman Elhal. So, you get a future where a singularity happened about 5 years ago, and a supercomputer in DC started this singularity. And so all of these bright ideas and intelligence started to come through from the other side, so to speak. And a failsafe clicked on just mere seconds after, picoseconds after that singularity started. And now we have strange creatures like this were-tiger, popping up. And this is supposed to be one of those mind-bendingly large thought books that, what is our purpose in this world? How are we to fulfill it? Are we going to destroy things with AI and technology? How is all this going to fit in with the society that we've always known? And it's interesting stuff. But you have a tech bro, and then he's got two people out there, two women that are going out there for a blog, not a podcast. I was going to say a podcast. But Gloria Monday, and then Gloria has got a ex-military woman that was hired to protect her, while she's on this wild and crazy adventure called life. So the website, the blog, as it were, is called Gin and Escatonic. So, like I said, it's a lot of fancy words, $5 words instead of quarter words. But what are we doing here? And so these two stumble on an idea inside a cave. And let's see, what's this guy's name? I'm trying to remember what his name is. Does he tell you his name? So, let's see. I don't know. We're just going to call this guy Captain Awesome. We're just going to call him Captain Awesome because I cannot remember what his name is. But he's got this kind of electronic pet that is, what came to him during the singularity. And he says, let's see, why did you come? I need scientists, not a blogger with an apocalypse fetish. And he says, you made a career out of, humanity's beguiling slide into the toilet. But we have to believe it's not too late. That's what's happening here. My piece of the inspiration, my work. We have to believe we can save ourselves with bold ideas and a will to act. And so, of course, she gets upset and gets in her feelings. And she says, I photographed 6 war zones, 3 terror attacks, 2 mass abductions, 1 nuclear meltdown. And you know what they all have in common? Men with bold ideas and a will to act every single blanking time. So I read this and I was hoping for more, okay? Cy Spurrier tries so hard to be Alan Moore, or Grant Morrison at least. He tries really, really hard. And a lot of stuff doesn't land. I know that they cut his Flash run short because it didn't really stick with the people that it needed to stick to. But this is not a bad book, okay? And I like to try to be positive on these initial assessments. But this one I just can't get behind because in the back of the book, he actually says, let's see, this isn't a story about technology, no more so than Macbeth is a story about daggers. It's not really a story about magic either, unless you take the view that magic is simply that which you perceive and believe having an impact upon reality. He says, I do see it that way. It's a story about the lies people tell themselves to fill the gaps in the world and the things that those lies enable. Greed, violence, venality, domination, more violence, sometimes even love. Some might say fire was the first transformative tech, though somehow the shadows of the world remain as deep. And when we imagine monsters populating the dark, what does it drive us to do? Why, we set more things on fire. So it just didn't stick with me, guys, and I can't recommend that it'll stick with you for the landing either, because I spoke about it in yesterday's video, and I said that sometimes you have these ideas that are so large that they kind of get unruly, and or they don't have enough leeway and enough runway to really play out in the way that they need to play out. And I've got a bad feeling that this is one of those books that's going to end up being that way. Michael Dowling's art, no problems there. It's interesting, but I just feel like Spurrier has an idea of where he's trying to go with this, but doesn't have it mapped out well enough, and that Ignition Press is probably going to pull the plug on it before it really gets where it's going. So, sorry, Mr. Were Tiger, but I'm not going to be coming back for issue 2 to find out what your story is. I hate to say it that way, and I hate to be negative, but this one just didn't stick for me, guys. So I cannot recommend Minotaur issue number 1 from Ignition Press, Spurrier, and Mike Dowling.